Home buyers, are you frustrated by the lack of inventory out there in real estate? I know I am. I talk to a lot of people who want to buy homes. They're qualified to do so, but it could be a months-long process, maybe longer. I've had buyers who've been looking for over a year, trying to find that property where you want to live, but most importantly, getting your offer accepted by the seller. We're something like 7 million units short of where we need to be. And builders simply don't build enough each year. Since 2000, they build about 1.3 million units per year. And if they could increase production by 25% each year, which is a pretty big goal, it would take 22 years to play catch up. So that inventory issue is not going to go away anytime soon. Look at builds from 2000 to 2008, 15 million units across the US. The 8 years that followed, 7 million units. Just a slight drop in production there. And from 2000 to 2020, our population grew by 50 million. So it's really easy to understand why we are where we are today. Agent I know recently posted, she had 87 showings on the same listing in 3 days, 22 offers. That's what you're competing against. So what's the solution? I'll tell you, it's renovation financing. The program's been around forever. FHA 203K, it's been around since 1978. But despite it being around for such a long time, it's very underutilized. 203K is less than 1% of FHA's annual book of business. And there's properties you're looking at out there, brand new renovations. Look like they just came off the TV show. I can tell you, all likelihood, they've been picked up by an investor. They put out the capital to buy the property, to repair, to renovate, and now they're reselling. And of course, they have their profit built in. That's why they're in business. So with renovation financing, you can do the same. You can buy the property, fix it up the way you want, but you don't have to pay that investor markup. Here's your chance to save money. Here's your chance to walk into a property with instant equity. You have FHA 203K, that's been around the longest, probably the most widely used, but VA has renovation for eligible veterans. USDA has renovation. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, conventional financing, there's renovation programs. You can buy a primary residence, a second home, and investment property. Now the Govy loans, the 203K, the USDA, the VA, that's for primary residence only. It's conventional, it allows second home and investment properties. But with renovation, you could buy a single family detached, townhome, row home, condo, multifamily, even mixed use. So there's so much possibility with renovation. I encourage you to take a look at this. If you're out there as a home buyer and you're just frustrated by what's not available, there's plenty of property out there. The average age of a home in the US is 40 years. And there's plenty of properties that I know buyers walk in and they walk right back out because there's too much to do. It needs too much work. It's too outdated. Renovation fixes that. A few things you should know about renovation. One, you'll need a licensed and insured contractor. You can't do the work yourself. Even if you're a contractor yourself, you're not going to be allowed to do the work. Two, you'll likely need a renovation consultant. They're easy to find. Do a search by FHA 203K consultant. You should find HUD's website. There's a search engine inside that website. You can look for consultants in the area where you want to buy. They're going to establish what labor and material should cost, identify any other repairs that should be done. They're going to do a feasibility study, a work write-up. It's going to be very crucial to the process. Three, there'll be a contingency. There'll be anywhere from 10 to 15 to up to 20% of your budget for your renovation. That's for unforeseen expenses. Any contractor can tell you that once they start work, they'll often encounter additional issues. They can't see behind walls. They can't see below the ground. So before work started, they don't always know the full scope. Contingency protects you from having to write a separate check for those additional expenses. And if you don't need it, it'll go against your principal as a credit. But I'd say about 50% of the time it's needed. So it's great that it's there. Lastly, if your utilities are off, your plumbing, your heating, your AC, your electrical, we see this often with foreclosures, and foreclosures are often a source of renovated homes for investors. Well, if their systems are off, they'll need to be inspected. Underwriting at the end of the day wants to make sure everything's going to work once the project's done. Those are big ticket items. If you're doing any structural work, an addition's being built, a deck's being built, taking down walls for that open floor concept, you'll need to get an engineer involved to make sure the foundation is going to be able to handle it all. So if you have questions about renovation financing, you want to connect with me, click on that link tree in my bio or in the description below.